Welcome to episode 7 of Nomads in Nimble Shadow. We're trading the high-stress life of first responders for a life of adventure on the road. I'm Sean, I'm a retired public safety officer, and I'm in the presence of my wife, Kendra, who is a retired police officer. We have been on the road full-time in our Airstream since August 9th, 2025, and traveling with us is the Nimble Shadow himself, Kendra's service dog, Django. Where are we right now, Kendra, and how are our accommodations?
All right, we are in Joseph, Oregon, at the state park, the Wallowa Lake State Park, at the outskirts of Joseph. It's beautiful. We've been here before. We came on a motorcycle trip and stayed overnight, and it was a quick in and quick out. But I remember enjoying it so much, thinking I wanted to come back. I think I even bought a sticker from here. Put it on one of my mugs. Yeah.
Yeah, we were really impressed by this place, and the weather was a little bit different because it was cold.
It was
September,
cold.
like
Yeah.
autumn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I'm the only one that had a motorcycle with heated grips or heated seats, and I was really happy, and you weren't so happy.
No, it was so cold, especially leaving here, heading. Gosh, we were going towards Enterprise, Oregon, I think, which is a town just before here. But yeah, I remember pulling over to the side of the road, just being in
crying.
so much pain.
You were crying.
I was crying.
That's okay, but we came back to visit it and spend more time. So we're gonna be here for 4 days. We've got today is the. We should probably tell you what the day is, don't we? Shouldn't we? Anyway, today's the 7th. We've been on the road for almost a month.
Almost 1 month.
Almost a month.
Yeah.
And today's the 7th of September.
Yeah.
And we're going to be here for 4 days, enjoying the town of Joseph and all of the belongings and all the trails. And then we're going to head on to what's next. We don't know what's next, right?
Not sure what's next. Yeah, we have about 8 hours of driving to do. We don't like to do more than 4 hours ever. Preferably no more than 3.
No, we don't.
No. So we'll have to do a stop somewhere midway. I'm not sure where that'll be. I'll figure it out.
Hopefully someplace awesome.
Yeah, but this place is going to be hard to beat. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, this is really nice. The weather's perfect. No bugs. Beautiful trees. It's great.
Beautiful lake, a little river that runs through the campground. It's great.
Today, we always try to think of a theme or something to talk about. And the one thing I wanted to kind of bring up was just kind of shed a little bit of light for the people who don't know us or aren't bored enough that they haven't stopped listening to this yet about our careers a little bit. So we talked about the fact before that you were a dispatcher and you started when you were young.
Yeah.
But I want to specifically talk about your transition to being a police officer, what assignments you sought, what you were interested in, what assignments you wanted, and then also ones that we know you were voluntold to do later. And just a little bit, just a quick resume about what you did and how you did it.
Let's see. Well, I did dispatch for 8 years and then went to the police academy in 2000 and spent 8 years basically working patrol except for my pregnancy. I felt like that was the right amount of time before I felt ready to try to promote or do something different. I felt like 8 years was a good amount of time to be on patrol. And then I worked in, background investigations, family violence during my pregnancy. I worked assaults during an injury, and then eventually got into child exploitation and internet crimes against children, which is really my favorite assignment. And then from there, I worked in there. I worked for Randy Schriefer, And he became one of my best mentors and advocates. And then he got put in charge of this terrible assignment to revamp the records management system. Like, cops are cops for a reason, right? Police officers become police officers because they don't do well in environments where you're trapped in a box or you're having to focus on something technical all day. It is project management. It's the last thing I want to do when I'm, this personality.
Well, you shouldn't have been so good at your job before.
I guess. I mean, I know he thought I did a good job in child exploits, and he thought I'd do a good job teaching this program, but it was miserable. And then, where else did I get to work? Internal affairs, training unit.
But explain to people that you don't want. I mean, cops don't want to go to internal affairs, but when you aren't a good investigator, you're asked.
Yeah.
You're kind of asked.
You're told. You're called and
you're told
that
to go work there. Yeah. You're going to be in an internal affairs.
And saying no is not a good idea.
No, not unless you just want to work patrol the rest of your life.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, yeah, I did IA, and then I worked at the training unit and worked in recruiting, a bunch of different things. How about you?
You did a lot of teaching.
I did a lot of teaching.
You taught me how to do CJIC in 1999.
I did. Yep.
Yeah.
I was a dispatcher, and you were a brand new police officer.
Yeah, I was the class clown, and I also was a really quick study, wasn't I?
Yeah, I kept having to tell you to wait and don't get ahead of the class and stay with me because I had a whole, let's say I picked a name and I had built this like criminal history because it was in the test training system, so all the names we were running were not real names. But let's say I had spent as an instructor time building a scenario, like run this guy. Oh, do you see his PFN? Put it in here. Do you see if he's on probation? There's a chain of events that I need to happen in order to get to the conclusion. And you kept going ahead and playing with it and going different routes. I needed you to go from A to B, and you were going from like A to D and then back to A. And
hey, I solved it though. I fixed it. I solved
no, because I had to tell you to stop.
All right.
Yeah.
Well.
Got me all riled up there. Problem student.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk about your teaching another time. I would say half of what you're known for is your teaching. Would that be a fair assessment?
I don't know what people know me for.
Well, yeah. I mean, I bet everybody I've ever met has been taught by you to do something. Now, the RMS program, let's go back to that, report writing. When I started, we were handwriting reports.
Yeah, me too.
Right. Yeah. And that is, I mean, you fill out a box. Driver's license number, you put it in there.
Yeah.
Tell me
you
what.
Use whiteout if you
get
it wrong.
Use whiteout,
yeah.
and you can't. Yeah, yeah. You can fill out the boxes and you write the report. You turn it in. Then they came up with a report writing program. Is that the first? ARS? No, what was it called?
Well, RMS, but there was also, it's the database that keeps track of reports. So how it worked before, I think, is you turn your report in and the records personnel would like put data into a database.
Okay.
So you could track reports that way. So this was a transition from that database that held all the information about reports to a new one that was automated.
Yeah, and that was a monster project to get 1,100 cops to switch from what they were doing to something else. And it wasn't easy. No. Everything was changed. The report, it was terrible. But they're still doing it now, probably. Mm-hmm. All right, and let's talk a little bit about your assignments and how it helped you to promote, and then what you did after that to finish up your career.
Well, I really wanted to do other things. I wanted to be a canine handler. I knew that was never going to happen. That as a woman, it was probably not going to happen. And, there's still, like it or not, a good old boy network. And I wasn't within any of those cliques. So I had to do a lot of the stereotypical female jobs. Family violence, sexual assaults, recruiting, training maybe. So anyway, I think I'm a good writer. I'm a decent orator, but I'm a better writer. And so I think those assignments, anything you have to write an investigation or a search warrant or an arrest warrant or something gives the chief an opportunity to read your writing, gives the command staff, because they're having to review these things or they're approving reports or whatever. So that's, I think, the main thing. And I'm tenacious when I get my teeth into something. And I have a great sense of justice and a passion for those investigations. So I think those things, I think I established a reputation for being those things, and that helped.
And you got promoted to sergeant?
Got promoted to sergeant, and then had a health challenge during that time, right after I got promoted. Was out for a bit, and then came back, and I think I worked as a sergeant. I worked in the training unit? No. Recruiting, internal affairs, but I was internal affairs first. I don't know. I don't remember.
Already forgetting.
Patrol IA, yeah.
Yeah, I remember you working patrol.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then you got promoted to lieutenant.
Then I got promoted to lieutenant and was in that role for a couple of years before I retired. Yeah, and just worked patrol as a lieutenant.
And what I remember you saying is that you liked being a sergeant, and you shouldn't have promoted higher because you didn't get to do as much stuff.
I would never have promoted to sergeant if I had it to do over again. I thank Johnson Fong for my initial promotion because he applied the guilt and shame of, you have children, right? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, don't you think you owe it to your kids to make as much as you can and to get, 15% more for their college and for their, and I just, it was this light bulb moment. So I decided to take the test, but I never wanted to supervise. I never wanted to be responsible for other people. And I loved patrol. I loved the police work, and we had a lot of opportunities to do different things. There's a lot more I would have wanted to do. So
once you promote, that starts to sharpen out. There's not as many opportunities.
Not as many opportunities, and that network, gets smaller.
All right. Good. All right. You want to talk about my small? Yeah. You have a lot of stuff going on. I mean, a lot of assignments that you got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I started in 99. I got to work patrol for 3 years and then really enjoyed narcotics. So I got into a unit called
investigating them, not doing them.
I wasn't selling them
then
on the
side.
side.
Drug problem happened.
Yeah. The whole world of narcotics and
like waging war,
working informants and writing search warrants and working till the very wee light of the day and all that kind of stuff, coming home late Nextels back then. It was awesome. But I worked for a really cool team called Metro. It was all street crime, so we got to do a lot of different stuff. Bike patrol and homeless encampments and crowd control and presidential protection and all that kind of stuff. It was fun. And then from there, that was back in the day where you could go from one unit to the next. So nowadays you have to go back to patrol for at least a year and then you can go somewhere else. But in those days, you could jump from one to the next. So I took all my training and skills that I had learned at that point, and I went into a unit called Narcotics and Covert Investigations, where I was undercover for 3 years. We could talk about that a little bit. You were surprised by one of those things?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was even... that was a lot of fun. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'd have to be asked questions about to do that more. But your hair's long and your earrings are in and your tattoos are showing and you get to wear whatever you want and drive a rowdy old car and
ride your skateboard.
Ride my skateboard.
Smoke cigarettes.
Smoke cigarettes. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun and a lot of hard work at the same time. And then from there, I had to go back to patrol. I worked patrol, and I knew it was time for me to do one more thing to round me out before I could promote, because they don't want to see just a narcotics officer that gets to be a sergeant. I was told by my mentors that it's better to round yourself out, be more community-oriented. So I went into motors.
Which, funny, I don't see that as community-oriented, because pretty much everyone you talk to is mad at you.
That's true. But the 3 E's of traffic enforcement are education, engineering, and enforcement.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's effective and it's necessary. I'm just saying, I don't think the community likes you very much because you're giving them tickets.
what's the number? Well, Kendra, what's the number one complaint of every community?
Traffic stuff.
Traffic stuff.
I know, you're preaching to the choir. I don't think they should be mad.
Funny stuff. We would take complaints from people. There's a school. When I drop my kids off at school, there's people that run stop signs and they speed, and I want you to go do enforcement and give people tickets. Okay, get out there. And guess who we're giving tickets to? The people that called us, because they're like, right. Hey, I'm the one that told you about this. I'm like, well, then you should have stopped at that stop sign. Like, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want us to come out here and keep your kids safe. Let them cross the crosswalk before you drive across it. Anyway, I really, really liked motors. You got to, that was the hardest thing I've ever done. Can I talk about Randy Schaefer real quick?
Randy Schaefer.
So I'm in patrol trying to figure out what to do with the rest of my career. I'd only been on for 9 years at that point. Yeah, 9 years. And I went to Randy Schaefer and said, I'm thinking about doing two things. I want to either go into K9 or I want to go into motors. And Randy Schaefer, who was a lateral from the CHP and a motor officer.
And big.
And a big boy.
Yeah.
Said,
not big,
no,
overweight, but like 6
like a
foot,
Viking.
What, 6'3",
no,
probably?
Yeah, he looked like a Viking.
Like a Viking.
Like an Adonis. He'd walk into the room and I'm like, oh, here we go. Like a halo behind him. And then like women are like, oh my God. Hair's blowing. Yeah, he was an Adonis and he had that smile. He was great. And I remember to this day the way he looked at me and said, oh, you can put in for motors, but you'll never make it.
Oh, don't you ever tell Sean he can't do something.
And I was like, that's it. I'm going in. I'm testing for motors. Now, the failure rate for a motor academy at San Jose was probably 89%. And I don't remember the exact numbers, but I think 25 or 30 of us started. They drop so fast, it's hard to keep up with. And I think 3 passed.
And you were one of them.
Dave Hartman was the one that got bumped.
Oh.
So 3 people passed, including me, out of 25, 30 people. And that was one of the hardest things to this day I've ever done.
Yeah.
It's 2 weeks of slow cone patterns with a very heavy motorcycle. And I don't know if you can see me or not. And those who know me, I'm not a big guy. I am not like the Adonis.
No.
I am not 6 foot something. I am 5 foot something. And those bikes were heavy. And I thought I knew how to ride. And that was to my detriment because I should have come in with a clean slate. Luckily, I passed. It was very, very, very hard. 2 weeks of slow and then 1 week in the mountains. And when they say mountains, you're basically going over 17 in a tight pack with the center divide next to you and your partner to your right. Mm-hmm. And the motorcycle that's right in front of you. So if anybody makes a mistake, we're all going to crash. And you're going at a high speed. You're not going at 30 miles an hour.
Oh my gosh, that sounds terrifying.
I did it in the rain.
That sounds terrifying.
I did it in the rain. It was... But at the same time, you're like, this is wild. This is crazy. Yeah. And it really helped me later because later when you and I became when I continued my motorcycle adventures, I was, I'm strict on it. I don't, you're going to crash at some point. So the things you're supposed to watch all the time and be careful of, keep your feet on the pegs, watch, keep your eyes where they're going.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I appreciate that about you.
Yeah.
Makes me feel safe when I'm on the back.
Yeah, so Randy Schaefer, love you, man. I got into motors, as you know, I spent 3 years. Now, during that time, my intention was to promote, as I stated, and I did take the test, and I was on the sergeant's list. But that was the time in 2008 to 2012 when Chuck Reed was in office, and he was trying to implement Measure V. Mm-hmm. And that would have taken basically 43% of our paycheck and put it into the retirement system because it was such a low system.
Well, they were talking at one point about going bankrupt. They were talking about just running out of money. Like there were a lot. Our union was saying, if you can go. Yeah. Yeah. Right.
So we were out of money. We were getting a pay cut. Kendra and I were getting a pay cut almost every month. They were cutting something. I remember leaving out of envelopes with you. We had money in envelopes to pay for groceries. We cut the cable. We did a whole bunch of stuff. We lived out of envelopes, and when that cash was gone, it was gone. And we realized we couldn't do that anymore. We lost our house because of the market crash. And we were just kind of, you need to figure it out. So our union said, if you can get out, get out. And Kendra was in there a lot longer, and she had a shorter time to go. So I decided to take the hit and leave and go to another retirement system. So I left San Jose in 2012 and initially went to the Santa Cruz Sheriff's Office, which is fantastic. It was a lot of fun. But then eventually got into Sunnyvale Public Safety, where I had the opportunity to do a whole bunch of cool stuff and start over again basically with my career, because I was trained how to be a firefighter and an EMT.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And then you promoted to lieutenant.
Then I promoted to lieutenant. I got to be an investigator in a unit called TCU, which is a lot like Metro. It's street crime stuff. And then later, after I got promoted, I got to go back and finish my career in the best place in the department, I believe. It was very, very fun, and we got a lot of good work done. Did you want to talk about that surprise you didn't know about when I was in NCI, or do you?
Well, I was going to ask you if you've ever ended up in the newspaper for your work.
Yes, I have.
You have?
I have.
I would love to hear those stories.
Oh, there's a whole bunch of news clippings, because back in the Mercury News, they used to put highlights of arrests. Mm-hmm. So they'd have like 3, it was called...
Yeah, but there were a couple of articles. Not
yeah,
just the police blotters.
Yeah, there were a couple articles. All right, so when I was, like I stated, I was undercover, and we had an assignment where our lieutenant pulled us in the office and said, we're about to do something that's never been... Well, it's been done before, but it's never been done recently. And it's so secret that nobody can know about it outside of this room, including your spouses. And if you have a problem with that, then I will find you a job somewhere else. No hard feelings. But you have to keep your mouth shut and not tell anybody where you are or what you're doing for a whole year until it's done. And I didn't think twice. I was like, I'm in. Let's do it. I knew I could do it. And, my hours were always kind of crazy anyway, right? I mean, it wasn't anything new. I was probably gone longer, or I was probably doing different things in different counties. States, maybe. But you didn't know because I wasn't allowed to tell you. And the reason I couldn't tell you was because it was such a big investigation and such a big case that other agencies could be involved as...
like corruption?
Corruption. Okay. We were looking at... We were testing for corruption. We were testing for just things that weren't done legally on the right way, and we didn't know if we did find any of that, if it would be within our own department or another department. We were working with another department at the time. So everybody, it was very tight-lipped. So the day before it was all over and said and done with, we served so many arrest warrants and so many search warrants. So many officers did that. Did that happen and then the newspaper came out?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, because it was going to hit the paper, and the night before it was going to hit the paper, you told me about it.
How did I tell you? Tell me all about that.
We were in the bathtub together, having a good old evening. We have had a glass of wine, I'm not sure. Were there candles? I don't know.
Candles?
Bubbles?
That's a fire hazard.
Yeah. I don't know. But you said, hey, I have to tell you something. You're going to find out tomorrow. And of course, now I'm nervous. And then you just said, you know how I've been telling you I've been on search warrants and this, these drug cases? Yeah, well, that hasn't been the truth. And then you just kind of told me what you were up to.
Yeah.
That was tough. I was proud of you for keeping the secret and mad at you for keeping the secret. I would have, hopefully, I would like to think I would have done the same thing, but still, as the wife, you want to know what your partner's, what they're doing that's so risky.
Yeah. And your best friend Al was doing it with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cool. Oh man, it's gonna rain. Okay.
Was that thunder?
It was thunder.
Oh wow.
The reason I'm not explaining more to our listeners of what I did and where we did it and how we did it is because it could happen again in the future, and I don't want to ruin any of that. So I got to be really part of that's. That's probably one of the best things I've ever done.
Yeah.
Ever. Yeah. And I don't think a lot of people could say that they get to do that kind of stuff. So
no, for sure.
There's a lot of special people out there that got to do it.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Not that I'm special, but you know what I mean. All right, what else are we going to talk about?
don't know. You wrote down some thoughts earlier today. You didn't ask me if I've ever been in the paper because of work.
Oh, have you ever been in the paper because of work? Not as a suspect.
Definitely never as a suspect. I think, yeah, there's there's this terrible picture of me in the police academy.
Oh, yeah.
It was like the Willow Glen Times or something.
Yeah.
And I'm going over the wall.
Yeah.
And I have a very short haircut and I'm just looking real.
Such a sucker. Why'd you cut your hair? Just put it up.
No.
Were you the only one that cut your hair?
No, I think Lori Bell did too. Yeah, I think Lori Bell did too. But I cut it. I had been in the military and I knew, one, what happens when your hair is out of place, two, how unruly my hair is, and three, how coarse it is and how difficult it is to work with. So I knew I was going to struggle with that and get yelled at all the time. So I cut it. It grows back.
Yeah.
But it was a long, hard period
Must
of time.
have been awkward. Well, my hair fell out the whole time, so it's all right. Yeah. All right. Let's switch topics a little bit. Are you missing seeing other people besides me?
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I miss my friends a lot. And I miss the kids. Even though we didn't see the kids as often as we would like, right? Just based on their schedules and where they're living, what they're doing in their lives. No big deal. Like, I miss them, but, they're busy. They're doing their thing. This feels different. It's like, oh, I really miss the kids. I don't know what that's about. The distance?
The unknown.
Mm-hmm.
Where am I going to be?
Yeah.
What am I going to connect with them next? Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. And because we, made memories in the houses that we've lived in. And, so we left all that behind too. Don't know. So yeah, I'm missing the kids and I'm missing my friends.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you got plenty of time to call them on speakerphone if you want.
We did. We called them on
FaceTime. Yeah.
Which was even better.
And then we'll finish with a really quick story because we only have 3 minutes left. Yes, I miss my friends, and yes, I miss seeing other people too. But you're a lot more social than I am.
Yeah.
We have an Airstream, as we've stated many times, and while we were on FaceTime with the kids, this F-150 pulling a shorter was a cloud, a flying cloud.
Yeah, flying cloud. It's a small one.
I can't see the driver. I can't see if they have a passenger. It usually helps to have a passenger when you have a trailer, but I see them get to the spot, and he I know it's a he because I saw him later, and instead of driving to the end of the driveway and then turning the trailer and then backing in, he saw the sight marker and then started to try to get the trailer in the... It was a shit show. I was watching it the whole time I was talking to the kids like, he's not going to make it. And he hit the... he Austin powered that thing for 20 minutes and he had a backer. His wife was on the other side.
Oh no.
And it was terrible. And then it took him probably 35 minutes to set up.
I don't know. I wasn't watching them.
You should have been watching. It was awesome. It was like...
Maybe it's their first time.
It didn't look like their first time, but it certainly looked like they were having trouble.
How could you tell it was not their first time?
Because the familiarity of with how people retrieve things, they know where to go. He knew where to go for the hose.
Yeah.
He knew where to put it.
Okay.
You ever watched a movie? Let's end on that thing. You ever watched a movie where this person's never been in this house before, and they're looking to the left, and they reach over and they click the light on? Hey, you don't know where that light switch is, bro.
Right.
I got you on that one. You've never been in this house before. All right. Thank you so much for listening. That was the end of episode 7.
Yeah.
And this podcast has been brought to you by...
I don't know. Thunder? Oh, I know what. The heat it mosquito thing.
The heated mosquito thing. I think we've already brought it up, but heated mosquitoes bomb.
Heated
Plug
mosquito.
it into your phone. Make a small barbecue on the end of your phone that cooks the mosquito. No itching. It's bomb.
Wait, first of all, it's not called the heated mosquito. It's just called the heat it, I think. It's for other insect bites too. Secondly, you're not cooking the mosquito. You're cooking the bite.
Cooking the mosquito bite.
Yeah. Cooking the mosquito bite. The protein's in it. And then it stops itching, which is really weird.
It feels like you're being branded, but you're not.
Yeah, with like a tiny
It only lasts for 9 seconds and it works. It's fantastic. I recommend it.
Yeah. This episode brought to you by
Mosquito.
the Heat It. No,
Heat
it's just
It.
called the Heat It. Heat It, I think.
All right. All right.
Love you. Bye.